Another way that you see relations presented to you, and maybe the most common way, is as a graph. So these first two graphs here are just displays of individual points, and we're going to ask ourselves, are each of these functions yes or no? So I've left the definition of a function. A function means each x value has exactly one y value. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to go through each of the x values, and we're going to look at how many y values, how many points are above and below. So here I'm at this x value. This is the x value 1. How many points are above and below 1? Well, when I look up, when I make a little dotted line, there is only one y value. So far, so good. Let's go to the next one. Here's the next x value, 2. How many y values? Well, when I look up, I've only got 1. So again, so far, so good. I'm going to the next x value, 3. When I look up, there's only one y value. I'm going to the next x value, which is 5. And when I look up, there's one y value. And then finally, I'm going to the x value 7. When I look up, there's one y value. So for each x value, there is only one y value. Now notice what I've done here, all these little dotted lines. These are all vertical lines. And so what this gives us is something called the vertical line test to determine if a graph of points is a function or not. If you can take a vertical line like a ruler or your driver's license, because I know you all have those, when you take that and you slide it across the graph, if it hits at one point always, meaning at one y value, then what you have is a function. So I'm going to pretend that this pen is my vertical line. As I slide this vertical line, notice it hits points one at a time, and so I have a function. So this graph right here is the graph of a function. So now let's look at the next graph. When I look at my x values, when I do the vertical line test, so I'm going to take my vertical line and I move it across. At this x value, oh, it hits one y value. At this x value, one y value. But notice what happens at the x value 1. At the x value 1, how many y values do I have? I have one here and I have one here. I'm going to draw a little dotted vertical line right here. So notice at this x value 1, when I draw the x value 1 as a vertical line, I hit two y values. So for that reason, because of that, this is not a function. It is important. Functions are very important mathematical objects. You will take classes someday in high school and maybe college on the algebra of functions, so being able to recognize them is important.